call of the Hogs can be heard all the way to San Francisco.
You're listening to Pod at the Palace with Curtis Wilkerson on Inside Arkansas.
And welcome in to the Pod at the Palace post-game show presented by SARACEN, Arkansas's #1 sports betting app. Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis of Inside Arkansas here with you today following the Razorbacks' 86-75 win over Tennessee in a top 20 tilt at Walton Arena. Two really good basketball teams engaged in physical warfare for 40 minutes at Bud Walton today. Welcome to the SEC, in case you forgot what this league was all about. We're going to see a lot of this on a nightly basis, but the Hogs have a pair of freshmen who are good for it. They were not overwhelmed by the moment by any means. This was a statement game today. Arkansas can beat a physical team. Arkansas can rebound with the best of them. Arkansas can defend, and they may not have hit a three all day, but Carter Knox and Darius Acuff stepped down and buried some daggers down the stretch. You know what this felt like, Andrew? This felt like the better team pulling away down the stretch and winning this home game. Major win for the Razorbacks.
Yeah, man, the way Arkansas closed the game, really impressive. Had to dig deep. I mean, this is a game, 40 minutes. It never really, until the very end when Arkansas kind of pulled ahead, never much separation, which just kind of keeps you engaged, keeps you locked in, but can also drain you. And there were some times where you and I were wondering, is Arkansas going to make it to the finish line? Acuff had to come out of the game for a second. He was tired. Brazil was exhausted at different points. Arkansas had enough in the tank down the stretch. And like you said, the better team. The way that Arkansas defended, it's not like this is a defensive performance that coaches are going to show their teams to set the standard. But I thought, given the context of the concerns we had coming in, Arkansas played really well on the defensive end, really impressive on the glass. For Arkansas to not only hold serve, but win the rebounding battle in this particular matchup, definitely, like you said, is going to push against some of these narratives that you hear against Arkansas. 86 points against another really good defense in Tennessee. Arkansas can score on anybody. We've said it time and time again. Their freshmen were awesome. There's some guys that we'll talk about and we'll critique the performances, but I could not be more happy about the performance. I feel really good about it. Huge win to start SEC play. Kind of forgot what that's like. We haven't had that in so long.
Yeah, big time stuff. That was also a vintage Bud Walton Arena today.
Oh, yeah.
Crowd was awesome. It was loud. They were engaged. It kind of felt like they might need to drag Arkansas to the finish line there in the final 8 minutes, but maybe it was them, maybe it was just the team, but they kind of found their second wind and pulled away there down the stretch, tightened up defensively. Here's what I love. Arkansas had one of those stretches where they went about 5 minutes without a made field goal, but they were making a bunch of free throws and they were getting stops right then. They actually extended their lead when they weren't making shots from the field. It was a beautiful thing. But yeah, you mentioned the rebounding. Arkansas wins the rebounding battle against a Tennessee team that leads the country in rebounding margin. Arkansas 36 to 33 there. Tennessee, the #1 offensive rebounding team in the country. They came in rebounding, Andrew, 46% of their misses. One of every two, they rebound over 15 a game. Arkansas holds them to 11. They actually grabbed 12 themselves. That was huge. And then, on a day where Arkansas shot 7 of 23 from three, this is a team that's 40% on the year so far, struggled to rattle them home. They go 29 of 33 at the free throw line. That's a great number to shoot, and it's a great percentage to knock down. Shout out to Malik Ewing going 8 and 8. I know some people have been upset with his free throw shooting. He was nails up there. That was awesome. Then on the flip side, Tennessee, what are y'all doing, man? 12 of 23 from the free throw line. That's nasty work right there. But a good job by the Razorbacks in this one for sure. On a day, and you mentioned they can score on anybody. They can. They get 86 points on a day where they shoot 30% from three, only 42% from the field. They had 7 assists and 14 turnovers, twice as many turnovers as assists, and he scored 86 points and beat Tennessee by double digits. Pretty good day at the office. I'll take it.
Yeah, a lot of the things that we talk about all the time that sound obvious, just things that separate you when you're in these games against good competition, your stars have to show up. Arkansas got that, particularly from the freshman backcourt. You have to be ready when that moment comes where it's a tie game or it's close and it's kind of the game is on the line. There's always a 3-minute stretch that decides the game, and you don't know you're in it until it happens. Arkansas was on the right end of a huge run there right at the right time. You also are going to have to knock down shots every now and then. Arkansas 7 for 23 from three. Early on, I was like, man, I just don't know if they can win a game if they shoot poorly like that. You end up not having a great effort, but when Arkansas needed it, Carter Knox hits a massive three with the shot clock winding down. Darius Acuff, couple daggers down there down the stretch. When you get tired and it's a close game and you're driving, you're going in and into the paint as much as you can, it's hard to do that for 40 minutes. Eventually, you just felt like if Arkansas you also felt like Tennessee was going to win the rebounding battle at some point. In fact, I think I texted you. I was like, I don't know if they can keep this up. Like, eventually Tennessee's going to get the boards. Felt like Arkansas was going to need to knock down some shots. They did it late. They did it at the perfect time. The free throw discrepancy I thought was massive in this one. One, and just the volume of how many Arkansas shot, but them making some. Like, these are all the little things that add up, and that's how you have an 11-point win, which I'm sure we'll talk about soon. It's a lot different from a metric standpoint, from a resume standpoint, than a 3-point win. Obviously, you'll take a big win over a top 20 team any way you can get it. The fact that Arkansas was able to win this one borderline decisively in a game that wasn't uncompetitive, I thought was really important. And I think when we wake up tomorrow morning, we're going to like the way this Arkansas team looks on paper from the metrics and all that.
Yeah, I would say so. This is definitely going to it's going to age well, I think, for the Razorbacks. Man, Darius Acuff, what a performance by him. It's interesting. Do you remember way back when this game started? And Tennessee scored the first 7 points, and Arkansas looked like, oh, they don't like this physicality too much. And then Acuff just said, you know what, I got this. 7 straight points. And then Trevin had one of the most ridiculous putbacks that I've ever seen until he did it again a little bit later. But man, to kind of put the team on his back right there, just to get him to settle into the game a little bit. And yeah, when it's go time, when it's time to cook, he's always good for it. It seems like 4 turnovers in this game. We'll drop him a letter grade for that in the report card or something. But no, in all seriousness, he was awesome, man. A special freshman. He was gassed. He had to come out for a little while there, and he was getting like his hip flexors stretched out and stuff. He was doing the Billy Richmond cramping thing, I guess it was. But that was the stretch where Arkansas actually really tightened up defensively and extended the lead before he got in there. So when you think about Arkansas in depth, well, they only play 8 guys, and boy, they sure could have used another power forward or something today. But it's those 3 guys who come off the bench that give you a lot. Malik Thomas was awesome in this game. Malik Ewan was awesome in this game. And Billy Richmond does Billy Richmond things every time he's in there. So you're in a position where you don't have a massive drop-off when your superstar comes out. Tennessee can't say that, because when Gillespie came off the floor, they were cooked out there from the point guard position. But shout out to Acuff for an awesome performance in this game. Those 2 freshmen to go for 29 and 18 in their openers, and Leak was electric coming in off the bench. That's big time. That is classic John Calipari freshman backcourt stuff right there. It was good to see.
Yeah, we talk a lot about like the formula you need to win games, and a lot of times those must teams, they wouldn't find that formula until like mid-February before they kind of figure out, all right, this is what we need to do. Arkansas's formula is going to include these freshmen being really good on a very consistent basis. We've known all along Arkansas's ceiling would be determined by those guys. Knox and Brazil, who didn't knock down a ton of shots. I mean, I think the 1-3 between them was that one Carter 3 at the end. They're going to kind of be a part of that equation. And I thought both those guys didn't score a ton, but made plays in this game that really affected the outcome.
Yes.
And then, like, I think Malik Thomas's performance had to be not the best performance, but maybe the most important. He cooks the other day on Monday, and in this chat we had a lot of, well, do it against a good team. Let's see you do it against a real defense or whatever. And I kind of felt like that was an unfair narrative, because a lot of the shots he misses are open, but to see those guys very ready for that challenge. And then again, the fatigue factor. You're going to be asked to do this a lot. Like Darius Acuff, you were exhausted today. There were times he would come out of the game and couldn't even hardly catch his breath. The fact that he was able to come back and have those shots down the stretch shows that he's ready for this kind of task. And as we continue to progress, Arkansas is going to play more and more good teams. This is the formula you need. You kind of know the effort. You've seen it. You've seen some losses and seen what can happen if you're not on your P's and Q's for 40 minutes. But I think this Arkansas team is starting to have a real identity, and they kind of know the hierarchy of who is there. And even some of these guys like DJ Wagner made a bunch of huge plays in this game. Everybody just, when you have an 8-man rotation, there's not a ton to figure out. Everyone knows their job. Just go out and do it. I thought today, some guys played better than others, but I thought everybody was ready to do their job today.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned Trevin and Carter in this game, because Trevin goes 3 of 10, Carter 3 of 8, but they combined to go 1 of 10 from 3. And those are 2 guys that you not only need makes from, like you need a little bit of volume, but you're 100% right with some of the plays that they made that really impacted winning in this game, when the stats might not have been as great as they always are. Although you look up at the end of the game, and given what we've seen this year, give me 11 and 7 from Carter every day. I would literally take that every night. But how did he get himself going? He misses a couple shots early. He gets a steal. He takes it down in transition, and he gets the big dunk. Couple offensive rebounds and, putbacks or drawing fouls there under the rim. And then he hits the circus 3 because he's found some confidence in there. That was awesome. Trevin, I feel a little bit vindicated. Now, understand it's a bold prediction, but I did say DJ Wagner was going to have his season high in points. Bold predictions are wrong sometimes, right? It happens. I also said that Tennessee would score fewer than 40 in the first half and fewer than 80 in the game. That happened, so we'll take that. But I said with Trevin, for me, more than going out and scoring 25 points or doing anything crazy statistically, I felt like he just needed to be on the floor in this game. They really couldn't afford to take him out because the way Tennessee plays with those, they got 4 guys who are like 280 pounds that they rotate in through there. That's a tough ask for Carter. He had that assignment for like 45 seconds, and that was enough for him. He wore himself out. So for Trevin to play 38 minutes in this basketball game, despite not being able to knock down shots, I thought was huge. Both of those guys were awesome. I want to show some love to Malik Ewan, though, because that was listen, I understand he had 4 turnovers or whatever, 12 points, 6 rebounds from Ewan in this game, but defensively, he was awesome, man. 4 blocked shots and a steal. The dude was impacting things at the rim. He's the defensive presence at the rim that we never knew that we had on this basketball team. But honestly, against a Tennessee team that is as physical and dominant in the front court as they are, I thought he was phenomenal in this one. Really, really good job by Malik Ewan.
Yeah, Arkansas is never going to be confused for like the bad boy Pistons or any team that's like really got this toughness and grit and that's their identity. But for as much as, we're now a decent way through the season, about halfway through, and we keep hearing this notion of like, hey, teams are going to be too physical for Arkansas. Teams are going to be able to dominate interior. And there were certainly some examples where Tennessee got some easy offensive rebounds and some putbacks. There were some times where one of their beefy big men were able to just kind of seal someone and get an easy layup here and there. And that's going to happen, especially against this particular front court. But you mentioned it's not like you need Malik Ewan to be anything crazy. What he was today was awesome. And he was like kind of overqualified on the defensive end. And I think it comes back to this idea that, listen, you can force the ball inside and say, hey, we can get easy looks against Arkansas. So we're just going to spend all day trying to force feed the interior. And that's fine. We're going to take our risks. We're going to steal some of those entry passes. We'll give up a layup here and there. But it's like if Arkansas is playing the way they're going to play offensively, which there's not much variance anymore in terms of, they're usually around 80, 85 points every single game. I just don't know if that's the formula to beat this team is, we're just going to dominate them on the glass and get a bunch of looks in the interior. Well, that's a little bit easier said than done. And I thought this is a huge performance for Arkansas to just kind of show teams, you're not just going to punk us. You're not just going to be able to force it and get these easy looks all game long. You'll get them here and there, but that's not going to be your route to victory. You're going to have to do some other things. And frankly, their guards outside of Gillespie weren't up to that task, and that includes Nate Ament.
Yeah, 100%. It is interesting. It kind of wound up being the reverse of what I expected. Like I thought if Arkansas was going to struggle defensively, it would be around the rim and in the paint because of that physicality. They held up great there. Where they struggled defensively was in transition, getting back. Tennessee had 24 fast break points in this basketball game, but Arkansas was able to overcome that, obviously. But it was a little bit inverted. A great job individually. Excuse me. You mentioned Nate Ament. Gillespie was their leading scorer coming into the game. He fits the mold of the type of guard that's really given Arkansas problems here lately, whether it was against Houston or Texas Tech, Louisville, whoever. They did an awesome job on him. He had 14 points, but 5 of 15 from the field. Really made that dude work. Didn't give him a whole lot easy there. And then Nate Ament, what do we say coming into it? Like, this is a game where it's a welcome to the SEC moment for somebody. Is it going to be Arkansas's freshman or is it going to be Tennessee's? It was Tennessee's. I thought Arkansas did phenomenal on him. He was 4 of 9 from the field, and they were giving him, I guess we call it the superstar whistle, a friendly whistle. That's what we'll call it. But the ball don't lie. That's why he went 5 of 11 from the free throw line for an otherwise good free throw shooter there. And just impressed with the individual effort there defensively, some things to clean up. But I was hoping that we would walk out of this basketball game going, hey, you know what? There's a good defensive team in there for Arkansas. They're going to be great offensively, but there could be a good defensive team. And that's exactly how I feel.
Yeah, they at the very least, when these games get tight, like against Texas Tech, that certainly wasn't a good defensive performance that Arkansas had. But then down the stretch, they kind of understood, hey, this is the 2-man game we're facing. We can provide an answer. We can make some plays here and there. And I thought against Tennessee, similar kind of thing. All the guys that you needed to be prepared for coming in, Arkansas was prepared for. Tennessee only takes 13 threes, which that's a big thing. We always talk about, hey, is Arkansas going to be able to defend the 3-point line? They weren't even letting them get them up, and I thought that was really impressive. And then, what are they? Both teams finished with about 14 turnovers. It's not like Arkansas really forced a ton of havoc necessarily, but they win that battle in the points off turnovers. When Arkansas does some of these things, It's just going to be hard to win against them. And I'm sure Tennessee fans are going to look at this and be like, man, if we, shoot better from three, we could have won. And we could have rebounded better. And, we could have maybe gotten some more out of Amen. I'm sure they're looking at the free throws and saying, man, there were some missed opportunities. I just feel like the final score indicates you have a little bit more ground to make up than you think. And there are a lot of things Arkansas can look back on. Trevin Brazile not making a three. I just feel like this was a very good, like you said, statement game. And I don't think there was any funny business. I don't think this was like Arkansas playing the best game they're going to play all year. I thought Arkansas played like a B game, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, they shot, like, percentage-wise, one of the lowest games that they've had outside of the free throw line. And, the 14 turnovers, that's like 5 more than they average on the season. And they played against some really good defenses this year. So you're right. That is good that you don't need an A-plus game to beat a top 20 team, although you were at home. And before we get to the chat, I'm giving the crowd an A. I thought the atmosphere was awesome, man. It was loud in there. It felt really good to get that type of experience in Bud Walton. Again, we had it for that Louisville game, but there's something that hits different about an SEC Saturday when it's packed in there. That was awesome. But I do want you to grade for me, Andrew, the stripe out. Grade the stripe out and be honest.
So I want to clarify by saying I agree with the crowd performance and the crowd attendance. All of that was great. I would give the stripe out specifically maybe a C. And it might be a C minus, actually. I saw a few people that kept their coats on, which, listen, it's cold outside. There's no shame in that. I think there were a few people that just didn't get the memo at all. Maybe they could have done more white sections, honestly. But, the stripe out wasn't great, but it didn't affect the atmosphere at all. I thought the Hog fans were there, ready to roll. I know there were a lot of football visitors and, maybe some other sport visitors that were on campus. I think they probably liked what they saw. Good to see J.J. Andrews. He got a maybe the biggest pop of the day. J.J. Andrews, they bring him out at midcourt. He calls the Hogs with a did you like his jacket? It was sparkly.
I loved his jacket. Yeah, he was sitting just a little bit to the left of where me and John were. And I thought it was awesome. The Hog call, by the way, cast and all, he nailed the Hog call. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
J.J. Andrews clears Ryan Silverfield for first Hog call at Bud Walton Arena by miles. All right. It was awesome. But yeah, that was really cool, man, to get him out there and for him to have that moment. I hope that they're able to bring like Abdou Toure in for a game at some point this year and let him be able to do that. It is interesting. The last time that we saw a Razorback signee come and do the Hog call at half court in a game was the regular season finale last year against Mississippi State. Darius Acuff was in town. He came out and helped lead the Hog call, and he was sitting beside Nate Ament, who was on his official visit. So that's interesting stuff there. But yeah, that was awesome from JJ, man.
Yeah. I also, we have a very high standard at Bud Walton Arena. So it's always tough to be like best crowd we've ever seen because we've seen some dandies. I definitely don't think this is like on par with, what the Kentucky crowd is going to be or what that Auburn crowd was. But I would say this is definitely, there was at least 18,000 people there.
Yeah.
Like genuinely. I'm sure they're going to report a sellout. At least 18,000 people there. And I felt like we stood when we needed to stand. We called the Hogs when we needed to call the Hogs. They toned down some of the, in between, hey, let's do the smile cam and whatever. Yeah. I love the hype video they played before the game. That's something I've been calling for. Like, hey, show us some of the history of this program. Show us why this place is special. Show the crowd the standard of what a Bud Walton crowd looks like. I thought all of that. I thought it was a much better effort from the U of A overall. And credit to the fans. We knew this would happen, but credit to the fans for showing up for sure.
Yeah, awesome game. Fun day at Bud Walton Arena. Folks, we're going to get into your chats, but first we got to give a shout out to our post-game sponsors at OZK Insurance. The one thing that really sets OZK apart is this. They're an independent insurance agency. That means they're not tied to just one company. They shop a multitude of A-rated carriers to find the best coverage and price for you. And now they've paired that with something that you don't usually see from an independent agency. It's a full-service mobile app. With the OZK Insurance app, you can see all your policies under one roof, whether it's home, auto, whatever you have, plus pay the bills, request roadside assistance, file claims, request policy changes, or even get new quotes all right there from the convenience of your phone. So you get the best part of an independent agent, which is choice, flexibility, real people, and the modern convenience of technology. If you're tired of being stuck with one carrier or chasing down paperwork, go to ozkinsurance.com or search OZK Insurance in the App Store or Google Play. Local agency, national level options, one powerful app. That's OZK Insurance. How you like that new ad read for OZK, baby? That's good stuff right there. They've spiced it up here in 2026. I like the app. That's good stuff from our partners there.
I appreciate that, honestly, because I'd gotten the other ones memorized. I was ready to move on.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. All right, let's hop into the chat and see how everybody's doing here. We may or may not get some post-game stuff at some point. John, here's the thing. After a midweek game against a mid-major or whatever, it's easy. If John stays the entire time to be able to get back and do his producer John things. After a packed out crowd against Tennessee, it's going to take him a little while, and he doesn't live right next door anymore. So producer John will get here when he gets here, but we got interns Gigi and Cameron who are taking care of the chat for us, and we certainly appreciate them. So let's hop into it. Obviously, we will start with the super chats. We'll work our way through some others. We've saved a lot of time here for you people because we know that you're excited. Most of you. We got a few haters in there, which is funny, but let's see what we got. Cody James says, hey, old Rocky Top. There were not a lot of Tennessee fans there, but it's just hard to not notice them because they're in that obnoxious orange,
Mm-hmm.
Tough scenes. The one thing that I did like, and it's corny, it's cheesy, whatever. But they were doing like the pick your song with the loudest cheer, and it was Arkansas versus Tennessee thing. It was funny at least.
I appreciated that too because we've talked about that very segment where we're like, yeah, the crowd just doesn't react.
Yeah.
They did get a reaction. They booed when they played I guess I forget the name of the country artist that has the song called Tennessee Orange, but Chris Stapleton, Arkansas. That's one that'll get the folks going. That was good stuff.
That's exactly
and
right.
Allegedly they played Rocky Top with like a minute left.
Oh, good.
We had obviously already gotten back and we're getting set up for this, but allegedly they played Rocky Top.
And I believe that former John Calipari player Alex Poitras was in attendance. Did you see that?
Okay, I didn't see that. I didn't know for sure it was Alex Poitras, but there was a man that was, he looked like he was rich. I'll just say that. I don't know how else to word that. And even Hillary was like, who is this? Like, this is somebody, right? And I'm like, that is somebody, but I'm like, I couldn't put my finger on like who it was. Poitras was not on my list because I just wasn't looking for Alex Poitras. But now as soon as you said his name, I was like, that's who that was.
Okay. Well, that's good because I saw somebody on Twitter that was like, Cal's got one of his former, Kentucky players here instead of at Rupp or whatever. And I was like, well, they didn't play at Rupp. But then I didn't know who it was and I didn't see it. But then I had a couple people tell me it was Poitras. So I'm just going to believe that was the case. I didn't
dripped
see the
out.
man, so was he? Good for him.
Was.
Shout out to Jafra for the super chat. We appreciate you. Says, I was high on Ewan, then put him in jail, if y'all remember. Not only is he free, he's apparently a shot blocker now. Yeah, I think a lot of people put him in jail. He put himself in jail. Honestly, like any criticism that came Malik Ewan's way early in the season for the effort that he was putting forth, that was warranted. What was irritating was the people who were just automatically done with him, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's not going to work. Bench him. He's a bust, whatever. It was too early for that, but he needed a kick in the pants. Like that's why, John Calipari challenged him the way that he did and put him on the bench when he wasn't getting the effort. And he responded. It was up to Malik Ewan to respond. The talent was always there. And now we're seeing the Malik Ewan who put up big numbers at Florida State, but we're also seeing the other gear that he has, which is it's with his effort and it's on the defensive end of the floor, man. And for him to go out there and get 4 blocks in a game like this, and he was out in passing lanes, getting deflections and all kinds of stuff. That was awesome, man. And it's a game changer for Arkansas to be able to have that. This was an area of concern with, it's like, all right, well, Pringle, he is what he is, right? With the way that he plays. Ewan has to be the guy that gives you the stats in there. He has to be the dude in there. Pringle's at his best when he's a complimentary piece at the 5. And then all of a sudden you're asking that complimentary piece to do a lot more for you because Ewan had been no-showing. That's when you run into a problem there. What they have right now, and I would still like to see a little bit more from Pringle, of course, but that is a formula that works at the 5 for Arkansas, in my opinion.
Well, and how many times have we said, hey, I don't care who starts the game, who's going to finish it, and who's going to play more minutes? And we've been kind of waiting on that minutes discrepancy to match how much we think these guys are helping the team. Pringle's 4 fouls probably played into it, but I love Ewan plays 27, Pringle plays 13. Not a knock on Nick Pringle, but it's like I think that is accurate based on like how many minutes each of those guys have earned. And at this point, Malik Ewan has earned a ton of minutes. He's earned to the right for us to consider him Arkansas's best 5. Like you said, I'll apologize for being hard on him early in the year. Absolutely. Because he's responded so well, but it's also like we have a high standard for him. We knew we expected him to be a guy. So when he was falling short of that standard, we were very critical, but of course we have to be here on the other end saying, hey, credit to Malik Ewan. It's now been about a month straight of him being solid, consistent, and a very much, without a doubt, plus for Arkansas.
Yes, absolutely. He's locked in. From Kanan, member for 8 months, by the way. We appreciate that. It's very cool. He says Arkansas isn't going to lose at home. And this was a very important game for them to get to be able to put themselves in position. I mean, if you look at it, Arkansas's got – they had this game against Tennessee. They get South Carolina at home. Come on now, right? You get LSU at home. You get Missouri at home. Like, those are games you need to win in your own building. Auburn this year, I think, is one that you need to win at home. But you look at it now, and it's like Vanderbilt, who's better than advertised, who comes in here. Kentucky, obviously, that's a big one. But I'm with you. They should certainly be favored at home at every game the rest of the way here. And that would be awesome. Reestablish that dominance, home court. Arkansas lost 4 games in that building last year. That's crazy work. And, you say they aren't going to lose at home. I say they shouldn't lose at home. And hopefully we wind up having that be the case. So we'll see.
I would agree with that assessment. I mean, dude, I think we're going to look back. You know how Nick Saban lost to ULM his first year at Alabama? Yeah. We're going to look back and be like, dang, Arkansas was losing to Oklahoma at Bud Walton Arena in Cal's first year, but that was just a weird thing.
Yeah, who else beat him in there? So they lost Oklahoma, got him. Florida got him. Ole Miss and Bama. That's right. Okay, there it is. Let's see. BDJB, appreciate the super chat, says A-Cuff is unfreaking believable. Amen is mid. Go Hogs. I don't disagree with anything that you said there.
I mean, listen, I'm not trying to be mean to Nate Amen. I don't really hold too much resentment in my heart for him not coming to Arkansas. And we said this before going live. Like, it's actually kind of, if you think about it, good that he didn't. But is there any doubt that he was the third best freshman on the floor today? And
yeah,
I know he's been more consistent than Thomas throughout the year, but like, I definitely am not looking at Nate Amen being like, dang, I wish he were a Hog, frankly.
Yeah. Did you happen to watch Chin Coleman's pregame press conference?
I cannot say that I did.
Okay, well, he was asked about just like the matchup with Nate Ament and everything like that, and he was like, I know you're familiar with him because you guys recruited him. And Chin Coleman legitimately was like, yeah, we recruited him. We recruited him hard. We wanted him in a Razorback uniform. Unfortunately for him, he chose to go somewhere else, and now he has to feel the pain of that decision. Those were his exact words. And I was like, wow, Chin, that's almost like bulletin board material. But he did feel the pain in this game. I don't even have an issue with Nate Ament. Honestly, any interaction I had with him during the recruiting process seemed like a really good kid. But it's more the hype that's been around him that I just haven't felt like was warranted when a guy like Darius Acuff is getting, undervalued a little bit. I know there's like 8 inches in height, but there's a big difference in their game also. And, for Nate Ament to come into the year and he's being put into the conversations with AJ DeBanza and Cam Boozer and Darren Peterson and guys like that, I never really saw that. He's not there yet. It doesn't mean he's not going to be a great player. But even on the broadcast today, as you and I and Hillary were walking back to the car to get out of there, was it Jimmy Dykes or the other guy? I can't remember, but one of them was like, you see that pull up there? You see that pull up jumper? That's Kevin Durant. That's Kevin Durant right there. And it's like, first of all, it's the first one he made today. And second of all, no, it's not. What are we doing here? Don't put that on the kid. It's not fair.
Right.
Just let him be a very talented freshman that figures it out throughout the course of the year. But it's kind of the when you have one guy that's just given the benefit of the doubt without earning it, and then you have another guy who's been earning it the entire season and is given zero benefit of the doubt in Darius Acuff. That's where my issue is personally. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, you know how it is where like coaches and players, they like tell themselves crazy stuff. Like the people that are like, nobody believes in us. And it's like, you're ranked number 1. Everyone believes in you, but that's just what they need to tell themselves to be motivated. Yeah. I have no problem with Chin feeling that way and being like, listen, this guy didn't choose us. Now he's got to deal with that. That's the right mentality for them to have. I love it.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. We've got Jeremy Stewart here, says we are undefeated with our new Inside Arkansas shirt on. We'll keep wearing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't wash it.
And you bought it. Like, by the way, thanks for the super chat. I mean, it feels like you bought the shirt. That's contribution enough, but thank you for this. Yeah, you just gotta keep washing it. Don't let it shrink, whatever. And you got to continue to wear it. Got a good thing going right now. Hey, guess what? We've got exclusive cards back in here.
Ooh,
look at that. Exclusive cards. Good to see you. Says Ewan didn't miss his free throws today. No, 8 of 8 for Malik Ewan. It's a beautiful thing. What does that make him on the season? Because there was this, you have 2 games where, not so great. And people think all of a sudden like, oh, the dude just can't shoot free throws at all. Ewan is, where's he at on my Ken Palm page? 40 of it. He's 74.1% at the line as your 5-man. I'm okay with that.
That is extreme. That's the type of guy that like you can't like guaranteed point to and be like, hey, you got to foul him at the end of the game when they're trying to get the ball in.
There's a lot of basketball left to be played today, obviously. Ken Palm updates in real time. Arkansas jumped up 5 spots to number 23. It's good to see so far today. They may have actually dropped a spot offensively, which you scored a lot of points, but like turnovers, you didn't shoot as well from 3. They'll probably wind up about the same, but it looks like at least a 10-spot jump defensively.
Oh, wow.
For that. So that's good. It's good stuff. Good on you.
Still seems crazy low.
It's unbelievable, dude. The predictives just do not pick up what Arkansas is putting down for whatever reason. It's wild. Okay. Where was I? Here we go. Tuna's House. Appreciate you. Says free throws and rebounds were the difference. 3-point defense was great. Offensively struggled. If you're not a freshman, woo pig, go Hogs. Yeah. I mean, there's truth to that. And Ewan didn't struggle offense, but he only got 4 shots up. But they kept fouling him. You cannot guard that dude without fouling him. Nobody can. If Tennessee can't, and Houston can't, and Texas Tech can't, and Louisville can't, nobody can. So it was good to see from him. But yeah, the freshmen were great. I can't get over the free throws. I don't know if I'm more impressed with Arkansas at the line or more like, what the hell is going on with Tennessee there? 12 of 23 is crazy.
Well, and dude, Arkansas started not great. Like I remember Acuff missing one. I remember Brazil missing one. Yep. Yeah, and I was kind of like annoyed early on. And then they must have went through a stretch where they hit like 10 in a row or something like that.
I guess so. Yeah, 25 of 27 in the second half for Arkansas at the free throw line. It's good stuff, man. Let's see. Sharkansas, good to see you. You know what I think Sharkansas is going to like? I think Sharkansas is going to like our Inside SEC basketball show that debuts Monday night because he's big on the entire conference. Like I'm looking forward to seeing his takes in there. He might have to bust out the power rankings for basketball like he did football and compare with ours maybe. But he says, I knew Carey would body us, but was proud of how Ewan and Pringle responded with their own physicality. DJ silently best defensive performance so far. DJ was good defensively. He only played 14 minutes in this basketball game. Yeah. But I do want to point this out. Sharkansas says, I knew that Carey would body us. Jalen Carey, 6 points on 3 of 8 shooting from the field and 3 rebounds.
Yeah, I thought their other bigs were actually better than him in this game.
I thought so too. Now, trust me, I get what you're saying because the dude he's just throwing people around in there. I remember him from Vanderbilt last year, seeing him on TV versus seeing him in person. That he's an intimidating dude, man. That's one large fella. But Arkansas did a good job on him in there for sure. Let's see. The student section pod. The student section was like half students and half, regular Razorback fans who wound up getting those tickets today. Yeah. But it was fun to see, I guess. He says we were letting those dudes moonwalk to the rim.
I'm trying to think of what this means.
I'm trying to put it together here too.
I'm sure there's a reference that we're supposed to know, but I really genuinely
we got to get hip. We need clarification is what we need from the student section. We'll see what we find there. Filthy Tom has been a member for 3 months, says Acuff deserves all the respect, but Knox hitting that 3 late is what turned the vibe in my living room. That was a crazy shot. Knox did a really good job of asserting himself late, getting to the free throw line and everything. That double clutchish, whatever you want to call it, 3 there was crazy work. Big time.
Is it fair to say that was the exact moment you knew for a fact Arkansas was going to win the game?
Yeah, absolutely.
They were in a good spot, but that was the dagger.
Yeah, that was it for me for sure. Hairless Hog is here, a hog of his word. Appreciate the super chat. Says at this pace, it is possible for Acuff to be in the talks for greatest basketball hog of all time. Might be tough to beat out the guys that stayed 2+ years. Maybe we wind up where we're talking about greatest single season.
Sure. It's gonna be hard to top Big Nasty without some hardware.
Exactly.
And then even if Darius Acuff is the best player this year on a team that wins the national title, like you said, greatest single season. Even then, it'd be hard to be like, yeah, he's better than Big Nasty, but
right.
He's definitely
greatest
in terms
freshman.
of just how good they are. best freshman we've ever seen at Arkansas. I think that's fair to say.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely among the greats for sure.
Yeah, he has been.
I'm trying not to be too hyperbolic here and be like crowning him already, but there are very few people we've seen play basketball at Arkansas that are definitively better.
Yeah, he's a hell of a lot of fun to watch, man. Good grief. JP Sullivan says, I'm calling it my A-cuff strut. The turkey strut has become the A-cuff strut. Woo pig, we appreciate it. It's always good to see you in here, JP Sullivan. Mm-hmm. Yeah, A-cuff needs a lot of things named after him. The way that he's playing right now, the least we could do is a victory dance. So, gosh, man, get 3 of 7 from 3. I wanted to check real quick because I was thinking about Leak, 3 of 4 from 3. It's really good to see Malik Thomas impact the game from a scoring standpoint without having to hit a bunch of threes. Mm-hmm. He was really good getting to the rack. Even some of the little floaters and stuff at the rim that he missed were like halfway down and coming out. But 6 of 13, I can live with that. And yeah, he was good, man.
I thought it was his best ball handling game. Not that he, handled the ball a ton, but I thought that he was very decisive and knew where he wanted to get on the court and didn't have a loose handle, wasn't getting ripped. And like you said, a lot of those attempts he generated, I was cool with. I thought he created a lot of space for himself. And when you're a shooter like that, you don't need that much space. You don't have to be this crazy explosive athlete. I think he's getting a lot better at kind of being more decisive and knowing what he wants to do offensively.
100%. The one time he started to dance east-west and get dribble happy, he got his pocket picked. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, it was great. You know what I really love? Malik Thomas curling those screens and getting the catch at the elbow. That's almost automatic in there for something good to happen. Let's see. We've got Derek Tipson here, been a member for 5 months. Appreciate it. He says, Ewan and Wagner were so huge in this game going forward. That gives me so much hope. Yeah, Ewan was awesome. DJ has got to make a layup at some point this season. Like just one would be cool to see, but he does impact the game without having to score. They really needed to give A-Cuff a blow there. Like he had to get stretched out and everything. He was tightening up his hip flexors. They had to give him a rest. And I thought that stretch where DJ commanded things, Arkansas looked really good and he looked really good. And then his effort defensively was awesome. So for 14 minutes played, I definitely felt him in there. He did a good job.
I'm surprised that he only played 14 minutes because I kind of felt like he had a pretty good impact in this game. Yeah. There were a couple times where he couldn't convert or maybe they didn't make the play, but him getting downhill, which is usually when he's at his best, especially last year, I thought he made some good decisions and I liked the looks. I liked what he was creating. Just wasn't able to finish some of those layups, but made some good passes down there too.
Yeah, he did. From One Cubs Fan 10, been a member for 2 months, where he appreciates you, says A-Cup will definitely be the catalyst in SEC play. Glad he got to rest a bit in this game. He had no choice. He definitely needed that. He might have got like 30 seconds or something in the first half, but yeah, he needed a break in there for sure. That was
it worked out well in the second half where they take him out at like the 8:40 mark, thinking, hey, we'll get him at the under 4, and they immediately had a review that took 3 minutes or whatever. So he like got a rest without really even having to come out of the game.
Yeah, he was to the point where he was, getting fouled and obviously hitting the deck. And it wasn't, hey, I'm popping right back up, or hey, teammates come get me. He was like, I need a second. Let me breathe for a minute and then I'll get up. I thought pretty savvy from Cal at that one where it took him a while to get back up, and he called the timeout before A-Cuff shot the free throws there. It was like, we're going to give you a minute to catch your breath here and then go up there and knock him down. That was pretty good stuff by Cal. Good call there. Hell, it might have been A-Cuff looking over like, I'm going to miss these if you don't call it, but let's see. Exclusive Carts. Thank you again. It says Ewan with 4 blocks, 8 of 8 on free throws. He played tough today. He did. That was really good to see from Malik Ewan. Easton says, when's the last time we started 1-0 in conference? Well, it wasn't last year. I don't think it was the year before with Eric
when
Mustin.
they beat Auburn on the road that one year.
God, maybe. I'm going to pull it up real quick because it's easy to navigate on KenPom. So Arkansas 1-0 in SEC play this year. Yes, it was not last year. They lost at Tennessee. The year before, they got beat by 32 at home against Auburn.
Yeah, I remember that.
The year before that, 2023, they lost that game at LSU, the Liberty Bowl, the same day as the Liberty Bowl, which is
4 for 30 something from 3.
Yes. In 2022, they lost the JD Note COVID game in Starkville by 13. And then, in 2021, they beat Auburn. Yeah, that was it.
Which was a great win. And I feel like kind of signaled that we were entering a different era of Arkansas basketball. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but I do think that it's nice to just do something different than you've done before.
Yes, I would agree, man. Chris Fortner just hopped in here to say woo pig suey. Right back at you. Tuna's House says, love the players' energy tonight. Undefeated at Bud Walton Arena, question mark. This is a big one to get. I mean, this is the best team you're going to play here the rest of the way. I mean, listen, I get it with Vanderbilt. Like, I don't want to keep denying what they've got going on. I assume they beat South Carolina today. I don't know that for sure. I haven't looked at the scores. But Tennessee's better than Kentucky. I don't know that they're more talented than Kentucky, but they're better than Kentucky. And then Vanderbilt. Who else comes in here? LSU, Missouri, Texas, and Auburn. So, I mean, between Tennessee and Louisville, you've probably won your two on paper toughest games so far. Doesn't mean they'll win all these, but you know. And then also from Tuna says, Ewan looked great, but needs to lather his hands in saddle soap. Hands made of butter on some rebounds, and in traffic. We can't have a win without complaining about something. So
yeah. The ball was on the floor a lot today. A lot of these like passes in below, and you could say, hey, that's on guys need to be stronger. It's also just a type of game where there's going to be a lot of loose balls, a lot of 50-50s. Every pass is going to be contested. I mean, Arkansas turned the ball over 14 times, a little bit above their season average, but nothing crazy.
Yeah, and he did, and we noted that earlier. Like, he did have 4 turnovers. Acuff had 4 turnovers. He had a couple uncharacteristic ones. It was mostly early with Acuff in there. Where'd the rest of them come from? 2 from Trevin, and then Knox, Wagner, Pringle, and Leak all had 1 each. You know who was turnover free? Billy Richmond. usually can't say that.
Instead, he just took a really bad pull up too.
Yes, he did. Phil, good to see you. Has been a member for 8 months now. It's awesome. Says JP, sorry if you have been in here, but I am turkey strutting. Woo pig suey. 1-0 and beating Tennessee feels good. Yeah. Tennessee's one of those teams that they seem to kind of have Arkansas's number. And the last time they walked into Bud Walton Arena, they put it on the Hogs too. And then obviously we all remember last year. So I don't know that this is as much of a get back as that Texas Tech game was, but I have a feeling that those guys who experienced that in Knoxville last year remembered how embarrassed they were walking out of there. And they knew exactly what to expect in terms of, the physicality and the toughness you have to play with to win a game like this. And frankly, I thought all 4 of those guys did that. And then your freshmen who haven't experienced it before, unfazed. This it's nothing to them, man. That's how talented these guys are. It's crazy. I keep thinking, Andrew, at some point we'll have to have one of these games where it's like, yeah, the returners are really going to have to carry you because Acuff and Thomas haven't experienced this before, but it just keeps not mattering because they're that good.
Well, and I thought, after the first 2 minutes, I was like, holy crap, we really are going to get an Acuff stinker for the first time ever. We keep using this term ahead of schedule. And so we keep comparing ourselves to different spots last year. And I know this game's at home compared to on the road, but like night and day different in terms of where this Razorback team was at and their readiness for a game like this against a team like this. I mean, last year they were uncompetitive in Knoxville. Obviously, maybe I'm not saying they would have guaranteed beat Tennessee in Knoxville today, but they would have been a lot more prepared for that challenge than this time a year ago, which is something we've been saying a lot lately.
Yes, no doubt about it. We got a couple videos here that producer John is here, and he's been getting some videos up from the post-game presser. So that's good stuff there. First, real quick, and I don't let me check because I didn't have it just yet for yesterday. No, it's the old one. Okay, we don't have the new Bet SARACEN graphic. We got to get on that, but got to tell you guys about their no strings attached special where new users can spend their first $25, and it's now $250 of bonus bets that you get. Not $125, it's $250 now. They doubled that up. All you got to do, download the Bet SARACEN app by well, you can't click on the link that we have right here. Actually, it's the same link. So I'm going to pull it up here, and just use that QR code, okay, and then understand that it's $250 now, and the code has changed. It's inside AR250. That code is inside AR250. Bet your first 25, get $250 in bonus bets. That's good stuff. It's Bet SARACEN Arkansas's #1 sports betting app. We talked about going 1-0 in SEC play and how it's been a fleeting thing for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Well, John Calipari spoke on that after the game, and let's hear what he had to say.
When you're winning games in this league, you're happy you're winning a game. I said it last year. It doesn't matter who you play. You want to win. Last year, if you remember, we started 0-5, and they were saying we hired the wrong coach. What the heck are we doing? And we turned it around and got it going. So now we're a little farther ahead than we were a year ago. But our guard play, woo. We're now getting some big guys, our wings, our athleticism. Billy Richmond, if Carter would play that way, forget about all the other crap. You don't need it. Just go get balls. You'll make baskets just playing. Don't try to invent, no. But rebound and defend, he did it today. He's another one. He told on himself. But I'm happy for him. I'm happy for Malik. You know, as a coach, you're trying to get the best version of every guy you're coaching.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what
you got to get those balls, bro. You got to get those balls, Carter.
Go get balls. Yeah, exactly. I love that. I love that he kind of echoed our thoughts on Carter. I think we can move on from it's sophomore year Carter. He's got to be your best player. No, he just needs to be that. What he was tonight is exactly what you need from him. You've got your stars, and every once in a while, like, against Texas Tech, yeah, Carter can pop off and have a huge game for you, but you need that consistent level of production and energy and defense and rebounding. What he brought in this game today is exactly what I want from Carter Knox. I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with it. I want to make one change. You look at his line, 11 points, 3 of 8, 1 of 5 from 3. You literally just make one more of those open threes that you got. All of a sudden, you're 2 of 5 from 3. You're 4 of 8 from the field. You got 14 points, 7 rebounds. And it's like Cal said, it's not like you had to create anything. You had to reinvent the wheel. Just get those opportunities that are there, take advantage of them, be efficient. But you're right. Like, this is the exact type of Carter we need. Yes.
And speaking of Carter, John tells us that we've got this video here that says Carter Calisms, and that it's absolute gold. I have no idea what this is about, what he's going to say, but I'm told that it's highly entertaining. So we're going to play it and we'll react in real time.
I have a good feeling it'll be pretty good.
Yes.
I'm just saying it's really hard, but you don't have to worry about any skill stuff. So what I'm asking you to do is really hard, but it's way easier than trying to do skill stuff. What then will happen is the skill stuff will pop through, and you'll see, like the 3, like the free throws, like the layup, like the pass. But until that other stuff comes full boat, that's who he is. Now you're relying on making shots. Watch. You're relying on all skill stuff. Whoop, whoop. And when he's down there, where's his head go? And when I see his head go, I've told him, your head goes down, I'm subbing you. So figure it out. Again, I might be sounding mean to you, but I got a job to do with these kids, and each of them are different, and I'm holding them to a high standard, mainly because I think we got a pretty good team. Last year, did I ever sound this way last year? No. We're going to be okay. Guys are really trying. We're really close. You guys are okay. 0-5. What? They're so now I got a group, and I told them, Wednesday we practice. You were there. What did it look like? Track or practice? Track. What? Get on the line. All right, let's go. Oh, really? Go back on the line. We went that for an hour. And then I'm teaching, and I said, is someone talking? And I go to teach again. I hear, what? On the box. Let's go. Keep running. Again, I should be able to demand from that group the highest level because they're capable of it. And now it's hard, though. It's hard to sustain it. It's hard to come every day. Stuff's hard. But you know what? I'm not letting them slip. I can tell you that right now.
Love it.
Love that, man. That's really good stuff right there.
I mean, Stu Hogg, who does the little no context cow videos. That's a dream. That clip right there is just a dream. He's going to be able to make some good stuff out of that, but I love it. I really do.
Yeah. And it's a little bit of a roller coaster with Carter. He's 100% right. Like, just do all those little things, and, the points and everything like that will come there for you. I love it. You get poopy face out there, you're coming out, dude. Body language dips, you're coming out, and you just know it. And I've kind of wondered about that, because there have been times, we saw it a little bit today, where Carter subs in and it's like less than a minute later and he comes right back out. And I think that's probably exactly what's happening there. Play doesn't go your way, something, you dip your head, get out of there. It kind of reminds me of, you remember, I think it was UCLA a couple years ago, that thing went viral where the big man is, just down about himself, and his point guard comes and he lifts his chin up. It's like, oh, no, come on, buddy. It's exactly like that with Carter, only it's Cal's putting you on the bench, and then you lift your chin up and he'll put you right back in there. So good stuff, man.
How do you feel about him openly admitting, which, coaches do this a lot, but pretty much openly admitting, I believe in this team a lot more than I ever believed in last year's team. Because, listen, they did good things last year. They had a stretch where, and he would agree with this assessment. By the time March rolled around, that team had a lot of confidence and felt like they were going to go on a run. But like he said, they kind of had to fight and scratch and claw just to be in that mix. He views this team very differently. And I think we agree that this team also could have some variance, but I do kind of trust what he's saying about how his belief and how he feels this team just has a much higher ceiling.
Yeah, I think he's a smart enough man to know that when they got to 0-5 there, in SEC play and just building up to that point, letting go of the rope is really possible. Like that getting really ugly and tail spinning on him was something that's very much on the table there. So yeah, that was the approach that he had. We'll be all right. We're okay. They're trying hard. Those were all the things that he was saying. I'm just glad that he admits, like, yeah, bullshit. You're 0-5. Exactly. But that's what that team needed. And I think it's okay to talk about this team in a different context, because they're not only playing better, I think they're very clearly more talented. They've got a better thing going on here. And so you can talk about those things and demand more and expect more because of what we've seen so far. But yeah, that was a great clip there from Cal, man. Another classic from him.
I remember last year him saying, and there was a point where he was like, hey, this has been one of the more rewarding years of my career because of how much we had to fight to get where we were. But I also remember him one time saying, I wish I could say I'm happy I'm going through this. I'm really not. I think it was after the Georgia game where they finally won. And he was like, man, I wish I could say I'm happy for the adversity. I really didn't enjoy it, if I'm being honest.
No. Yeah, it's not a lot of fun. Not at all. We'll get back to your chats here. We might have a couple more clips that we'll play towards the end. But from Grizzly, who's been a member for 4 months, says, girl, are you a bullshit basketball team? Because you're the only 10 I see.
Yeah, not bad.
Would that get you a date? Would it get you the number?
Possibly.
Maybe.
If they were a true hog.
At the game, like you got to pick your spot a little bit. Maybe so. I respect it. Cats by 21. Thank you for the super chat. Also, Cats, you are someone who will enjoy the Inside SEC basketball show that's going to be on Monday evenings. We expect to see you. And if you want your voice to be heard a hell of a lot more than it maybe it is on Inside Arkansas Live, that is your domain where we're talking all things SEC basketball. So make sure you join us for that. Appreciate the super chat. And also, sorry, not sorry for what happened to your team today. Anyway, says DJ with only 14 minutes. Kudos to Cal for finally letting go of the DJ 38 minutes per game rope. And yes, I know Kentucky sucks. Well, at least you got your self-awareness there. Yeah, I mean, has he let go of that rope, or was this the plan all along? There are going to be games where a DJ plays more than 14 minutes, obviously. But what I mean by that is, DJ played that much last year out of necessity. He had to. Yeah. And I think that was part of it. Like he was expected to be a key cog to what they had going on, but then you had Boogie go down, and there was just no way that DJ was going to really come off the floor. And a lot of the thought process was with, Acuff coming in and Tom, like if those guys were who we thought they were going to be, would that role decrease a little bit for him? A lot of times last year, Cal would come in after a game and he would go, I can't keep playing DJ 20 minutes in the second half. Mm-hmm. Like I can't, I've got to stop doing that. But he really couldn't afford to. And this year, that's different. I thought that it would be, instead of him playing 36 or 38 a game, that it would be like 28-30. And he's playing like 25 a game. And there are going to be some where, hey, if Acuff is going to play no matter what, if Malik Thomas is playing the way that he was today, DJ Wagner's not going to play as much, unless it's a smaller team where you could see Acuff, DJ, and Leak playing together, because maybe Carter's stinking it up, or maybe Arkansas is in a position where they can go a little bit smaller and you're playing Carter and TB together, or you're playing Carter and Ewan or whatever. But it's, in fairness to you, Cats, some kudos for not just sticking with it for the third year when you've got other guys who are maybe clearly better. I mean, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
Also, kudos to DJ for accepting his role, understanding where he's at here, what he's got to do to help the team. And he's coming off of a game where he hit 4 threes, and he hit 3 threes against Houston. There are going to be times where he's got to make shots. There are going to be times where he has to accept, I got to play a little bit less, but when I'm in there, I've got to keep giving the effort defensively. I've got to not turn the basketball over. So I think there's some kudos to go around with this situation for sure.
Certainly. And I would just say to Cats, like, this isn't like a today thing where it's like, oh, True. They had this epiphany. I mean, he played 19 minutes in the Louisville game. He played 16 minutes against Duke. He started the year playing 30 minutes a decent amount. He was playing more early. He played 32 against Michigan State. There were some games early, but like lately, it's been this formula a lot. He's taken just under 7 shots per game. That's going to go down after this. Lowest of his career by far. After today's game, he'll be playing below 25 minutes per game. Lowest of his career by far. This isn't like a new development. DJ has not been, and to your point, hasn't been upset about it, but he has not been like an on-ball huge part of what Arkansas is doing offensively all year. This isn't really a new development, and this is kind of what we've been trying to tell people for a long time.
Yes, yes, is very true. Hickory Hog 94 says, belt season, woo pig. Who is the Michael Irvin of Arkansas alum that could have been doing the belt thing? Like Sean Andrews was there.
I mean, honestly, does it work if Ronnie Brewer Jr. does it?
Oh, it needs to be Ronnie.
Which, by the way, shout out to Ron Brewer Sr. for being in the hype video and giving that thing about how much it means. That was awesome. But it maybe doesn't work for Brewer because he's on staff. But Kamani, can we get Kamani?
Oh, Kamani's the guy.
Kamani would be
he's the one.
The answer here.
He's the one. Yeah, he's the one for sure. That's that's good stuff. I love how we can get in some of our best conversations about who would be putting the belt to ass on any given night when Arkansas comes up with a big win there. Let's see here. We've got Walla Walla Hog says, I'm calling it now. Both Tennessee and Kentucky still ahead of us in the net. Let me look at the net rankings real quick and see about this. Because we might have, is Andrew frozen? Maybe he is. Okay, that's all right. Let's see. The net rankings. Let me pull them up real quick and see where they were. Maybe Arkansas will get the bump that they deserve. Maybe they won't. Let's see. We're just going to do this for right now. So in the net rankings coming into this game, you had Tennessee at 24 and Kentucky at 27. Arkansas was at 30. The answer is no. The answer is no. Well, it's, at least on my screen, you were frozen for a minute. I don't know if it was like a two-way street or whatever, but then I saw you leave and you came back. I'm glad you're here. Arkansas should pass both Kentucky and Tennessee in the net going into tomorrow. Like, why wouldn't they? You're within 5 spots of both of them. You know, Kentucky goes on the road. They get the hell beat out of them again. And you just beat Tennessee by double digits in the game that you were projected to win by 1. Yeah, I think Arkansas will probably pass both of them. Just looking off the top also, shout out to SMU. They got a big win over North Carolina. They were a couple spots ahead of Arkansas. St. John's lost again
to Providence.
Can we stop doing the thing where, you know what I mean? Arkansas's got to be able to get past them now, right? So, yeah, I would imagine Arkansas will be back up there in the top 25-ish range after this one, as they should be. Where were we at with the –
Actually, Curtis, Duke only won by like 4 against Florida State, so actually Arkansas probably dropped 5 spots.
Yeah, here we go again. Here we go again. Yeah, I'm actually surprised Arkansas didn't drop yesterday because Louisville lost again.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Okay, I lost my spot for a second there. Chris Sullivan says Thomas scores 28 his last time out. Darius had to outscore that. Yeah. Can one of those guys get 30 here, please?
For the props. I mean, come on.
Yeah. What are we doing here? A lot of people were stressed out about that if they were over at Bet Saracen. So, Hickory Hog, appreciate everybody hanging out with us here. He says, if you see SEC Nick and a bear locked up in a fight, you better go help that damn bear. Pringle brought the physicality today. He did play physical when he was in there. I will give him that. When and Jalen Carey is a large human being, but he got frustrated because he tried to drop step into Nick Pringle and he didn't move him. It was like a brick wall situation there, and he wound up drawing the offensive foul. That was cool. That was good to see.
Yeah.
Other
that
than
was the best moment. That was the I mean, I hate to say it, rare Nick Pringle dub. You getting that elbow to the face.
Yeah. Pringle, 13 minutes, 2 points, 1 rebound, 4 fouls. He was in some foul trouble there. But yeah, he was not getting pushed around. That's for sure. Let's see. We've got Michael Gray, bunch of super chats, man. Appreciate y'all for kicking it here on a Saturday. Appreciate the Hogs, I guess, for getting a big win. Michael Gray says, nice to get Tennessee off our backs. They've had our number for a while now. Go Hogs, go. Huge win. Yeah, I think 4 straight L's for Arkansas coming into to this one against Tennessee. There's just something about them. We were talking about this when we were walking into the game, Andrew, of like, you feel like Arkansas has done everything they could to be prepared for a game like this. Like you played Houston, who plays similar to how they do. And you played some of these, like Michigan State. You think about like the offensive rebounding and the defense, any way that you could simulate getting ready for Tennessee. Arkansas has done that. Then you start the game, you get down 7-0 right away. They're kind of getting pushed around. I'm like, damn it. Maybe they weren't ready for this, but they flipped the switch on and they certainly proved up for the challenge. It was good to see. From Trent Morledge, appreciate the super chat, says, do we lead the country in tipped passes defensively? Love that we don't let anyone have any passes on the perimeter. There has to be. KenPom keeps up with the distance of your 2-point field goal attempts, but they don't keep up with deflections. There's got to be somewhere where you can find that number.
Eric Musselman's coaching staff would give you that number for sure.
Musselman's coaching staff has it. Yeah.
They definitely get a lot of deflections. They also force a lot that like some go off of the opponent. You know, it's like a cool thing they do. I definitely think I mean, a lot of guys that are long, handsy. I think they do a good job there.
Yes, I think so too. Rufus is here. Good to see you, Rufus. Appreciate the super chat. Says, I've seen Cal's great guards, Wall, Fox, Ulis, Gilgeous-Alexander. Tonight felt similar. Perhaps it's time I make the trek to the Palace to see young A-Cup with my own ancient eyes. Wu Pig
we would
Sui
love to
from
have
the
you,
UK.
Rufus.
Rufus, do that. Come watch the Razorbacks play a game. Come watch the Razorbacks play Kentucky at the end of the month. That seems like what needs to happen. If you do, you make sure you get in touch with us. It would be awesome. Sure. Still got a good handful to get through here, man. Sean Phillips says, not gonna lie, I was acting a fool in Bud. LFG Hogs. Yeah, let's freaking go. It was hard not to. Cal and Doug Shows were going at it. For times in that game, there were some things he was doing that John Calipari wasn't a big fan of. They were like across the court, pointing at each other, yelling at each other. It was hilarious in there. But yeah, there were times where the officials were catching the ire. There were times where, Arkansas was making awesome plays. When Trevin got that tip slam early, when Arkansas went on that little 9-0 run, that was nasty. He put it on Estrella's head too, but that was really, really, really loud moment. I'm trying to think what was the loudest. I'm guessing maybe when
it would have to be
that shot,
one of those shots,
or A-Cuff maybe, but yeah, the place was jumping, man.
Did you like that Chuck Martin was the get back guy and he was also wearing the same suit as Cal?
I did not notice that he was wearing the same suit, but
it's similar suits, maybe not the exact same, but similar.
Do you feel like Cal knew about this and approved of it?
Possibly
the same suit.
But I could also see Cal like really not appreciating that.
Me too. BI of the 65th says, did y'all forget about Joe Johnson? Go look at what Darius A-Cuff is doing. Go look at what Joe Johnson did as a freshman and then get back to me.
Yeah.
This is a very real conversation to be having in the moment. It's not shade at Joe Johnson by any means. He's
Certainly
incredible.
We definitely didn't forget about him.
Right. And there's a long way to go here. Like we said, there's 17 more SEC games to go here, but
yeah, it's not a hot take at all to say Acuff's the best freshman Arkansas has had. You could make a very real argument for Joe Johnson. There's a couple other guys you could throw in there, but it's not like something out of this world. Like we forgot about Joe Johnson. I mean, we love Joe, but
of course not.
I think you'd be surprised at how the numbers shake out.
Sure. White River Cafe says the whole team played with an edge. Love to see it. Yes, they did. They played with an edge, and it wasn't like remember there was that little run of chippiness that is just like, what are we doing here? I mean, like the Fresno State game after that one, it's like they really got to chill out with that. Yes, they played with the type of edge that you want to see. I'm with you there. That's a good observation.
And we didn't have a bunch of weird stuff, playing with the wrong kind of edge. We didn't have a ton of weird tie-ups, extracurricular. It was just good, hard basketball.
Right. Girthy Hog says, I don't know about Ken or his palms, but the Hogs have a girth that can't be palmed. Hashtag woo pig. Hashtag damn, that's girthy. Hashtag 2 palms at least. Hashtag big pigs. This is wild.
This is our boy. This is our boy from the video.
I think so. This is a hell of a super chat, by the way. So, oh man. Down south, Molishan Media. So I'm getting tired. Says the market down reaction going to be great for this one. Woo pig suey. I'm sure it will be. OKC Hog. Appreciate the super chat. Says Acuff is just so good, man. I don't know. He's the best player in college basketball. Malik getting it going at the perfect time. Ewan's hustle and rebounds. So happy, man. Good to see you. Okay.
Yeah, good to see you. OKC.
Acuff's the real deal. He's got a case for, and they said it on the broadcast, SEC Freshman of the Year, SEC Player of the Year. He's in those conversations. Like Phylon at Alabama is having a great year. I'm sure there are some other guys out there, but if you start your list for SEC Player of the Year and you get past 2 or 3 and you haven't said Darius Acuff yet, you haven't been paying attention. And agreed on Leak, man. That was really good to see. Tamara, yes, you're right. We touched on this a second ago, but she says we moved up to 23 on KenPom. We're 28 before the game. Proud of the Hogs. Yeah, trending in the right direction. That's good stuff there. They needed that. We'll see how the rest of the game shake out. They might continue to move on up. John Pigman says, huge win. Let's go chat. Yes, Pigman, the prince of positivity in the post-game chats was definitely feeling good about it. This is not a hard one to police either. People are in a good mood.
Pigman also said he saw one of us at the game. I think he said me, and then he was like, but I think he meant Curtis, but he saw one of us.
Well, from the time we separated, Andrew, I didn't leave my seat until I left the game. I was locked in, man.
You and Dave were chopping it up, huh?
He looked great. Yeah, I was talking about it down there. He looks happy. Looks like he's eating well. He's doing all right. I love when they put the camera on him. He's just like,
he was like annoyed they put the camera on him a little bit. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. There were a lot of baseball guys at the game. There were a handful he was down kind of courtside before he got in his seat. Saw Ryder Helfrich. I don't know who the other guy was. I gotta do my face to name stuff with this baseball team. Definitely noticed Ryder though, who was there. So
Ryder loves his hoop hogs, man. Love it.
Yeah, man. There's Ryan. Look at this. Love the effort and intensity. Woo pig suey. Ryan, now is the time where I'm going to tell you, because a while back, I told you that I was waiting for my right moment to roast you a little bit. I'm not going to do that anymore, but I'm just going to let you know this was after, I think it was after the Arkansas Queens game that the Razorbacks won by like 1 million. And I shared this with John and Andrew, but I started screen recording and I scrolled through your Twitter for the entire game. And it was just all negative. Like, we suck. That's a horrible shot. This ain't going to fly. Got a rebound. What the heck are you doing, Billy? Like, it was just one thing after another. And I was like, they won by 30, right? And I was just going to play that on the show. But here you are with some positivity after a big win. So I want to give you kudos because you've earned it, Ryan. We appreciate you. We have the banter back and forth, but we love you, man. Oh, just a couple more here. From Tamara, again, we appreciate you. She says, okay, where do we stand in dunks now? Is Georgia still first? I will look this up in real time.
Arkansas was 4 of 4 today.
They were 4 of 4 today? Okay.
8 of 13 on layups, which just feels inaccurate.
DJ missed a couple.
Malik tried to miss that one in transition.
Yes, he did.
Who else missed?
Team stats. Trying to figure out how I went about finding this the other day.
We could just go through. I know Stat Broadcast has it. We might just have to just go through all the stat broadcasts.
Well, you can find it on Torvik, but it's not in the team stats thing. Where did I find this? Team charts? I don't know. I'll find it for the report card, and I'll report back to you. But, yeah, I wound up finding it. And Arkansas they were tied for third in the country in dunks. So it was Georgia leading by a wide. They had 104. I don't know how many they wound up getting against Auburn today.
Probably a lot. They scored 104.
Seriously, yeah. Maybe they're pretty good. North Carolina was second with 91, and Arkansas and Kentucky were tied at third with 78. So Arkansas didn't pass anybody. I don't know if they wound up getting past or not, but they're probably still top 5 in the country in dunks for sure. From Grizzly, he says, well, SCT says timeout for an SCT chant is crazy. SCT, SCT, SCT. That's what they're saying, right?
Yeah, I'm sure that's what that was happening. Well, I don't think either of us did it, but I will say if you intentionally spam the chat, you're probably going to get some type of punishment. I don't know how many times. It's funny how it's like the same 5 people who get banned and timeouted every time, and they're always stunned. I was like, wait a minute, what?
I haven't even looked at the actual the rolling chat in like 30 minutes.
Yeah,
because I've been in the ones that we have started to get to and everything. I have no idea what's going on in there. So.
Yeah, there was a little bit of an SCT chant that got shut down.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry that I celebrated it then. I'm not championing that behavior. John Pignan says, I was in the nosebleeds, saw Curtis down below. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, I think
not a bad seat in Bud Walton Arena, though.
No.
Oh, damn it. OKC Hog says, Curtis, didn't you say you would eat the ice cream live? What did I say?
I remember this happening. But I don't remember what the stipulation was.
I said if Arkansas beats James Madison by something and then beats Tennessee to go 2-0 in the week, that I'll eat the obnoxiously tall ice cream cone at Blue Ember live. I got to go see if they cover what they were supposed to for James Madison. If they did, I'll do it.
We'll be at Blue Ember not too long from now, right?
We'll Wednesday is the day of the Ole Miss road game. We'll be there.
Gotcha.
So yeah. You're right. OKC, I did. I'm a man of my word. I'm going to go back and see exactly what the terms were. And if they were met, I will eat that damn ice cream cone live on the air. Well, shoot, man. I think we've pretty much covered it here. Anything else that you need to get off your chest? Final thoughts, words of wisdom, anything at all?
Nothing other than they played like a wild band of Razorback Hogs, Curtis. I mean, they're just... That was Arkansas basketball. I really appreciate, I never want to take for granted, going to Bud Walton and it feeling like Bud Walton, feeling like a big game. The crowd shows up, the team shows up, the stars that we expect to be cool, they show up. It's just, I mean, I know it sounds simple and easy. Oh, yeah, of course we beat a top 20 team in Bud Walton, yada, yada. But it's like, we can't take this for granted, especially after the last few years and how January's gone for us. I don't think we will anytime soon. So, I'm thrilled. I couldn't be more happy. I'm going to celebrate all night.
Yes, I am. I'm going to celebrate by going and seeing my kid and then recording the report card. But we do appreciate everybody for hanging out with us. Big win for the Razorbacks, man. No better way to start an SEC play than 1-0. Arkansas did that. Huge win, top 20 win. All those things, you love to see it. So sleep happy, be happy. Make sure you tune in for the report card. Make sure you tune in for Inside SEC Basketball. Monday evening, we'll have some more details on that in the next day or two. Obviously, it's 2 days away, so we have to. But appreciate everybody for hanging out with us. It's been Andrew Ellis and Curtis Wilkerson with Inside Arkansas on the Pod the Palace postgame show. Appreciate you guys, and we will see you next time. Everybody have a good one.